It is time for another 2-minute sermon recap, and I am privileged to be sitting alongside the Reverend Lou Nyiri, Associate Pastor of Gettysburg Presbyterian Church in Pennsylvania, my childhood church, and my childhood pastor. Their youth group spent the night here at St. Giles preparing for a week of mission here in Greenville County. And it was a real privilege for me to be able to preach alongside of him this morning in our worship at St. Giles. Our text this morning continued with our sermon series of 1st and 2nd Samuel, looking at 1st Samuel chapter 15 and 16, the call story of David. I'm wondering, what was the biggest takeaway of the sermon, just from your own perspective?
First, though, I do want to just thank St. Giles for your hospitality and your graciousness in allowing our youth group to spend the night here. You've been most welcoming, and we have felt that gift of hospitality and this connectional nature of our own Presbyterian USA denomination. So thank you for that. With regards to the sermon today and the message, you may have heard a few times in there that understanding of being seen and seeing those who might be unseen, being seen the way God sees. You may have also noticed, if you were in worship today, that I didn't have my glasses on most of the time. It's because I'm reaching that point in life when these are for seeing distances. And when I'm up close, I have a hard time seeing. And so I would take them off often in order to read the notes in front of me. And I think sometimes in life, that's what it's about, is trying to learn what can we see and what do we need help seeing. And so one of the things I like is I think that God allows us to see ourselves the way God sees us, but also to see others the way God sees them, and how the way God sees me and I see others through God's eyes. When those visions come together, where can we go from there?
It's a lifelong process of learning to see with God's eyes. And the good news is that's not something that we have to do alone. And we can learn those things in community. And we can learn those things as we seek and strive to be disciples of Jesus Christ. Serving as his hands and feet, as your group is doing this year or this week, and as our own St. Giles group is doing this week in Orlando, Florida. It's that process of learning to see with God's eyes, and in the process you might see others differently and see yourself differently, as God sees us all, as created children of God, made in the image of God. We're going to rename this 2-minute recap the 3-minute recap. You get a couple preachers going, and we don't always stop right away. But when there's good news to tell, we got to tell it.
Absolutely.
We got to tell it. And there's a lot of good news in the world. So let's all keep our eyes open and willing and able and striving to see the way God sees. Have a good week, everyone.
Blessings.